Welcome, everyone, to episode 5 of the CCA podcast. I have a couple of great things to talk about today. There's some news that actually came out this morning in the cyberspace, so I think that'll be exciting to talk about. And we're just glad to have everyone back here.
Mm-hmm.
We're having fun with these. We're at a new location because, again, we're sticking with our theme of changing it every single time to make it really, really complicated for ourselves. So I hope you like it.
Same location, just 4 feet up higher off the ground. As you
4
can see, the
feet
TV is now level with us and not way up there.
Yeah, so
Should be fun.
it's good. All right. Anything you want to talk about now before we kick things off?
Before we get into it, I don't think so. I was just finding my list of
Got it. List of things.
my list of things. I had to pull up the links too. Because
So-
you have it on the screen.
Yeah, so I think the first thing we can talk about is a Dropbox breach that happened April 24th, which is, I'm surprised, actually. I think you hear these breaches a lot of times, and they're just like, oh, in January, that was breached, and it's March, August. So I think the fact that we're talking like a week ago-ish, a little more than a week ago, and they already have done all their due diligence, kind of figured out what was in the breach, and they're notifying customers. I think props to Dropbox, I guess. I mean, not props for getting a breach, but I like the fact they notified people quickly. Because honestly, I think that's so key, is to be able to like shift quickly, right?
Because you could be like Yahoo back in the day, because if you had a Yahoo email, you might have gotten the class action thing about it because they were so slow to respond about it.
Yeah.
So it is nice to see.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good that happened. But basically, there was a threat actor that got on their network and got account settings, names, emails, usernames, phone numbers, hashed passwords. So hopefully, I don't know. I mean, if they figure out so hopefully the passwords like don't get determined from those things,
Right.
but
Still not good.
Still not good. So
Right.
MFA methods, session tokens, looks like they were in there, and some other things. So,
But to note, it looked like it wasn't necessarily like the normal Dropbox product that you might be like thinking of. It was like their signing
it's
product,
the signature
like
product,
digital
yes.
signature.
It's not Dropbox, the file storage place.
But granted, it's probably all, I mean, I don't know much about Dropbox, so it's like how the products will work here. It's probably all kind of one in the same, like one big environment. Like you just have a Dropbox account, or do you have a separate thing for Dropbox Sign?
It feels like it's a different thing because Dropbox Sign bought, I thought it was in this article, but it's in
it's up at the
one,
top is like, like second paragraph.
Hello Sign, there you
Yeah.
go, company knows. So I think they bought a company, and I don't know that they ever like fully integrated the platforms together. So I think there might be some disparate
Systems
passwords and things like that between the two. You're probably right. There probably is a, if you have a Dropbox account that's doing both, you probably should do the same thing. So if you have a Dropbox Sign and Dropbox, you probably should reset them both.
Probably.
And I think they would have reset them both, but I think the breach was in the users that are in that database.
I see.
But I think if that's the case, anyone that was in that database got the notice.
Yeah.
So if someone had Dropbox but not Sign, they probably didn't get the emails.
Because theoretically, it wouldn't have affected them.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But so our recommendation here is if you use that password elsewhere, reset it. Dropbox already reset all the MFA tokens, the session tokens. They reset everyone's password. So if you are using Dropbox Sign, you'll have to log back in.
Yep.
But that's our recommendation, I think, is just go and...
Or something I'm just reading right here, like halfway through the article, so just quoting the article here really quick. Dropbox explained in its own blog post, which they linked to the blog post, that those who received or signed a document through Dropbox Sign but never created an account had their email address and names also exposed.
Right.
So that's kind of a big deal, too. So if you ever just signed it, which I'm trying to think about if I have, because if you just signed anything, it sounds like then, like, obviously you wouldn't have an account or anything like that, but whatever data was stored in that signature... Seems like it would have been in the same exposure.
Yeah, it would have been. I think it's the information. The article I read said that their blog post said that they didn't lose any of the documents or any of the actual.
Oh, okay, got it.
At least again at wherever stage they're at in their forensic study.
Right.
Didn't sound like they lost physical information.
Sure.
Physical information. Didn't sound like they lost the documents.
Yeah. Nothing like that. I get what you're saying.
So hopefully they didn't lose, and maybe they lost. Maybe they're not tied. Yeah, because if you lost someone's signature and their like name and emails in it too, that could be kind of a big deal. But although I still think you would need more than that. If you went to a bank account, you can't just be like, I'm so and so. Here's a signature of mine. Like, you would need more proof than like I can sign something like someone's name.
That is true.
But anyway, so that's that's news for today. And again, I just think reset those passwords elsewhere, I think would be kind of our takeaway.
Yep.
I'm glad they got on that
And keep an eye on
really quickly.
emails and whatnot, official stuff from the company, because they're supposed to, like Dropbox did very well, announce when something like that, like some SEC rule or whatever.
Yep. And
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, those, like, watch out for those things. Obviously, also check to make sure they're not spam, because there's so much spam out there. Like you guys have probably gotten them. Your Microsoft 365 account got hacked. Go here to like reset your password, and just skims your password and then just moves on.
Yeah, that's literally what I was just gonna say. Is if they got your username out of there as an email, they might start emailing people.
That's totally
to say,
possible.
Hey, your Dropbox thing got hacked. We have your this, that, or the other thing. Like, click on this link to fix it or something. Absolutely don't do that.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are probably going to be 100% spam. If you ever see those,
they should only just warn you about it and be like, go to the official site.
Website and sign in or do whatever. Or we reset it for you. Like when you go to log in as normal, like it will prompt you for something. So yeah, good stuff. But
it was nice how quick they, because that is very quick.
It was.
I didn't realize it was April 24th. I was expecting it like months ago.
Yeah, same. I was just like, wow, this happened recently. Almost every time there's breach notifications, it's just like
it already happened
months ago. What was the Solar? I feel like SolarWinds did that last year when they sent out theirs. It was just like, I think it came out some similar, in the April, May time, and it was January. I don't quote my dates. I'm just saying. I felt like it was months when we like got noticed.
Most of them are months.
Back in January, we found that this happened. Whoa, that's good to know.
What I could have done so much in that time. Yeah.
Could have done everything. Yeah.
Could have done everything. Yeah, you could have. But now you couldn't.
Everything else in your life probably has been breached since January. So hopefully.
So thank you, Dropbox, for being honest.
Yeah, and good. Yeah. That was awesome. And it's probably part of those things of having good policies in place, because a lot of times their policies will drive that to say, hey, what's our notification policy window? It's like, hey, 14 days or 30 days or something. And so then when those things happen, hey, I guess sometimes they just don't even know, I suppose, right? Like you could have had a breach and you didn't know about it until April, and you have to just bring it up when you can. But
so many like discover it and then do their whole investigation or whatever, and then
I think it's good they caught it quickly too. Maybe they have things in place that are looking at that sort of thing.
So good on Dropbox, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Obviously, we don't want people to get breached, but the open honesty and whatever
that helps a lot. Yeah.
So,
and I think it helps keep a lot of the like trust, because like whenever you get hacked, you kind of lose a lot of trust. So like
exactly.
I think and maybe part of that, not to be snarky, maybe part of that was also a damage control. Well, of course it's a little bit of a damage control thing, but it's also just helpful to be honest. Too.
Yeah, as a signature platform.
Yeah.
As a new signature platform too. I think they're trying to compete with DocuSign,
who's been around forever,
and things like that. Yeah. And so it's like, hey, we're this new player in the market, and I think they're trying to be the budget option, and then this happens. So
So there's Dropbox. What's next?
Yeah. So the next thing we want to talk about is the scam with the tolls. We got news from.
Oh, I already got it up.
Michigan.
Okay.
I do have it up. Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to recap this real quick?
Yes, you can kind of see a copy of it here. It just looks like a text message from a random phone number. Michigan Toll Services. We've noticed an outstanding balance on your account. Click this thing to pay your invoice. And I'm sure it's just a domain that's. I'm guessing. I don't live in Michigan, so I'm guessing. But I'm guessing SunPassTollServices.com is not Michigan's. If you just Googled Michigan, toll whatever, it's probably like mitollway.com or something.
So there is a. This is my first Google search, so don't whatever. There is a SunPass toll system in Florida.
Okay.
So not in Michigan. That's just a little bit I see, but like, what tolls does SunPass cover? A lot of Florida stuff. Point being, they probably chose that name because you can Google SunPass toll, like, oh look, SunPass is real.
Right. Yeah. Or that's maybe how some of the roads are named or something. There's probably some way that like the domain is somewhat similar to what you would kind of expect, and this person should report junk. Too bad this is just an image. Report junk. But I don't know. Have we heard of this happening in Wisconsin yet?
I haven't.
Sorry, Illinois. Illinois would be a toll.
Yeah, Illinois would be like our closest, whatever. I haven't heard of it yet. I did like not recently, like last summer, I got a letter in the mail because I forgot to pay a toll, like a legitimate one. But like I paid it because it looked real and everything like that. But then I thought about it after the fact, like what if this? Granted, the letter had a ton of evidence that was actually me because there's a picture of my car going through the toll, being like on this day at this time. Like okay, this one's pretty.
It's your license plate.
I'm sorry, Illinois.
Yeah, you just get a random text message.
Yeah,
just
like that. Yeah.
Hey, pay us money.
Right. But there's so many things. Like there's like scam emails of like, traffic violations. Like you didn't pay your traffic violation fee or whatever. Like this is like, I feel like becoming like a bigger thing. Like, cause I think anything traffic, road, car related scares people.
Sure.
So it's like you think, oh, it's an authority sort of thing.
Well, and I'd rather pay $11.69 instead of $50. So
or that, or get in more trouble. Yeah. But
what is this scam? So are people getting charged the $11.69, or are they just stealing credit cards then once you get in there? I imagine they're stealing identities, right? Is the goal? They're not just going to, this isn't some sort of long game, right? Where they're just...
They only charge $11.69.
They're just trying to get millions of people to pay them $11.69 so they can...
the ethically way to do something.
It'd be awesome if they just actually start fixing the roads. Like, hey, we've been stealing money from you guys for years, so we're actually just going to start fixing your roads for you. Congratulations. Your system didn't have enough, so we were just doubling down and getting paid twice.
I don't know why I'm looking at the TV. I literally have it like pulled up on my computer. I was just trying to see if like anyone had any like records saying like I paid this thing and this is what happened, and I realized like after the fact.
And you can forward those messages to 7726. That's the federal, the FTC spam alert phone number. So that's kind of another one of their recommendations. But I imagine they're not charging $11.69. I imagine they're maybe pretending that they're charging you $11.69.
Or they do charge you $11.69 at first, and then like wait a week, and then like just use it to go do something else or charge you more.
Signs of smishing texts.
Phishing. I love all the like
SMS phishing, like
phishing.
Like
there's phishing. What's that one? Isn't that like
video phishing?
I don't remember what that one is. There's so many, but yeah. Anyways, so kind of the same thing with like Dropbox. Like, if you do get a notice about something, make sure it's official, because like don't just answer some random text from, I don't even know if is that even the right area code? Is 306?
Not sure.
What area code is 306? I'm gonna butcher this. Sasquatch. That one.
Ooh, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. I didn't want to butcher that live on the show.
Canada. That's odd. So
yeah, you're getting the right country.
You're paying your Michigan tolls
through Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Interconnected world. But anyways, watch out for spam. Like email phishing has been a thing forever. But like text phishing, you probably already get it already. That exists too. Smishing, as it said in there, it exists too.
I don't like that one.
No.
Why can't it just be all phishing? Isn't that all the same thing?
What would be
social engineering?
What would be phishing? Like I was telling you the other day, the T-Mobile letters I used to get in the mail. What would that be? Like like snail mail phishing?
Snail mail phishing?
'Cause that was a thing. And then I like called the number just to see what happened, and it was like some promotional thing, like 55 and up, like discount whatever phone service was like the letter, and it was like perfectly immaculate, like T-Mobile's thing. They just scanned the document and just changed the phone number.
Sure. And
all it was, like I called the number just to like see what would happen, because I was just curious, and it was late one night.
I'm 55 or older. Can I get discount on phones?
So I asked them like, hey, I got the like letter. I'm like, what's up? And then I called it, and I think actually, or maybe I asked like, oh, I want to unsubscribe because it doesn't apply. Like I was trying to be like nice and like whatever. Sure. And they're like, okay, cool. Yeah, if we just need the unsubscribe, like you just confirm your social for a second. I'm like,
I'm just confirming I'm not 55 or older. Can you just take me off your list? Like, thanks for the offer, but
I'm just like, really? Okay. But it was like, they're getting very sophisticated. Like that letter tricked me for a split second. I'm like, that's weird. This is like actual T-Mobile, like had T-Mobile letterhead, and like the envelope was T-Mobile, but then the address was to like a print shop in Florida.
Yeah. And that's the reality of these things is they just have to get some people.
Yeah.
And so if they send out 400 million of these to Michigan residents, they're going to get some people to click this thing and put in a credit card, right? And that's all that it takes, and they max out whatever that credit card can handle. And or maybe they, like you said, charge $11.69 and then charge $20 a month on something, and no one ever notices. Like, what is this, and how do I cancel it, and how do I get this charge off without changing my credit card number? Disputing it on the bill or whatever.
Right.
If you do that enough times, and you get 1% of people to do it, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Even if you do like 0.5% or 0.1% on 400 million people is going to be...
It's going to be crazy.
A lot.
Well, not that there's 400 million people in Michigan.
I don't know, yeah. What's in Michigan? 6? 5?
Probably something like that.
So, but again, I think that's their thing, right? It's like, hey, we want to do a Michigan toll scam, right? Well, okay, what's our audience? 6 million. We know that 0.1% of people click on these things. Like they can probably like predict this. They probably have algorithms to predict all this stuff.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
This campaign's gonna make us $1 million, or whatever.
And you just like close it all down, wait a couple weeks, and run the same thing again. Yeah.
Run the same thing in Florida. You already own the domain, and there actually is a SunPass in Florida. Like boom, spin it in Florida, right?
Yeah.
because this is probably a Michigan article, a Michigan news station that did stuff. So thanks CBS credit, I guess. You don't sue us for that. I guess the credit's right there. You can see it. That's not my article. But anyway, so it's just another good thing. Keep your eyes out.
They're yelling at you for using an ad blocker.
Oh, so.
But, right, because our whole office is ad blocked.
But here's the thing. In reality, they're getting credit for this. So good for you, CBS News. There's some ad revenue for you for free instead of whatever this is, like a Target commercial or something.
I think it's a CBS video.
Is it?
I can't tell.
It
Michigan
is.
residents warned of new unpaid tolls.
Yeah, I bet there's ads in the video, and so that's why they're trying to get the ad revenue from it. Yeah. Because CBS doesn't make enough money, they have to make their website ad revenue based too. Sorry, that was snarky. We still love you, CBS.
I have no opinion.
Send us merch.
I would take CBS.
We just try to get merch. Yeah,
I like.
I think someone commented on the last podcast, like, I want a Quick Trip gift card, spelled Quick Trip wrong, and didn't like try to name the podcast. Like, 'cause it was like, what was it? It was if you own ByteDance and want to come talk to us and have lunch, we'll give you a gift card.
Did they use
yeah? Or you have to name the podcast. Like, those are the two things I think I said last time. That like, you do any one of these things, and we'll give you.
Sure, that was the requirements.
They didn't even try. I was like,
can I have the gift card?
Yeah, exactly. I'd love a Quick Trip gift card, but
how'd they spell it?
They spelled it wrong with a Q.
Also, like the other Quick Trip, because there is a Quick Trip with a Q in like Missouri.
Got it.
Kansas. I've been there.
Got it.
But then my phone, when I do stuff on Siri, hope that didn't activate anything. If I say Quick Trip, it defaults to that Quick Trip because I think it's a more nationwide chain.
Got it. Okay. Even though
they didn't qualify.
the Wisconsin one's better
By far.
But anyway, that still stands. You'd have to be somewhere close by. I'm not going to mail you a Quick Trip gift card if you don't live nearby. But if you come up with a really good name that we use, like, it still stands. But you have to try, though.
You do have to try. I was playing around with Copilot yesterday. To relate back to our last podcast episode, I was asking Copilot for podcast names. I didn't really get anything I liked so far.
The downside is AI as creative as people. That's
well, I had creative mode on.
Okay.
That didn't, yeah.
Which
I
is
think
actually
people are more.
They just pay a guy to sit behind a desk to be like,
just start funneling in options.
Where's our creative? Oh, he's back there, just coming up with actual good ideas.
Our creative, yeah.
It's one guy for the whole platform. Yeah.
Just a queue of like 9 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Well, there's probably nothing else to talk about the SMS thing. Just besides takeaways, be careful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't just answer text to things. Like, make sure all the communication is official. Everything like that. If you forget to pay a toll, they're probably not going to send you a text. I would assume. I don't even know how they would get that. So just like, always like kind of do step back for a little bit. Like, how would I be get this?
Yeah, because the DMV probably just gives them your address and not a phone number.
Yeah. Whatever address is associated with your license plate.
Because that's where they would they'd have to pull off a DMV thing and then mail it to you.
Are there still tolls like in like major tolls that are they all automated? Like the Illinois one is all automated.
Illinois is,
yeah. They're probably all automated now.
Yeah. I would think so.
Probably.
I know the ones a lot of them are based on license plate. They'll just send you a bill later.
You just drive through it at full speed and try to get behind a. Actually, I'm not going to say
that.
Because I've
rented cars in places where we've gone through some of those, and they just mail you no late fees, nothing, like whatever. Because Illinois, you have to go back and pay for it either afterwards. At the end of your trip, you go through and you tell, hey, here's where I drove through, and they'll give you like, hey, here's what you think you owe, or you register in advance and they take your license plate and charge you.
Right.
But some other states, you do nothing, and they just take a picture of your license plate and then just send you a bill.
Right.
Because I've rented cars in California or wherever, and you get back, or 3 weeks later from your trip, and they just like send you a notice like, hey, by the way, looks like you drove through this toll, so we charge your credit card for $5.23 or whatever the number was. So.
Like the same card that you used to rent the car.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I'm not old enough to like rent a car without a penalty or whatever, so I don't know that.
But you're old enough to get discounts on T-Mobile for being 55, so
crazy world that we live in.
Their data wrong.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
The next thing I think was talking about the
gaming chair.
The gaming chair that we got, which is it really a gaming chair? I don't know. It's so the chair it's either like you're either in pain, you're a gamer, or you're a long-term sitter. A long-term sitter kind of checks all the boxes. I don't know. That's
Are long-term sitters in pain?
Yeah, they're in pain gamers.
Or gaming in pain.
They're gaming in pain for long terms. Long terms. Honestly, the thing I thought of is almost like programmers, video editors, like creatives. Like I think there's some careers where you're just gonna grind on your desk. Like, hey, I'm a programmer. Like you might sit at your desk as a programmer, just like coding and coding and coding. Like you're just there you're not getting up, you're not going to meetings, you're not like running around and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So like I think there's some careers that they could really push. But anyway, so we just have some contacts with this Gary Vaynerchuk. I guess bought 600 of these recently. So shout out Gary V. You should come hang out with us on
that would
the
be
podcast
cool
sometime. But yeah, just very customizable chair. We've had it for a week, so we don't have any like permanent opinions yet. They are expensive, so that's I think the biggest hurdle. Honestly, is going to be like, can you make it? Can it change your life enough to kind of pay for itself? So I think that's going to be their struggle, their uphill battle. It's probably anything expensive, but you have to figure that out, right? But
has a 12-year warranty, which I didn't know that actually.
12-year warranty?
Yeah, it said like right underneath.
Right
underneath the shop now. I should talk trial. Into the mic.
And that's when I was talking to the owners, I thought instead of doing a 30-day trial, I think it would be fun because similar like with beds, they don't let you return it almost for the first period of time. So like if this is going to be sort of like a chair that's going to fix how you sit, you almost want to like have a really long period of time to get used to it first before you would even, I think some of the beds, I don't remember the manufacturer, but they make you use it for a period of time. Like, hey, you can return it for a year. Yeah. But you have to keep it for 30 days.
Right.
Like sleep on it, try it out, like get used to it. Like it might be more firm than your last bed. It might be more soft than your last bed. Whatever the case is.
Right.
But you can't just like get it, sleep one night, it was awful, it's coming back. Right. So I honestly think they should change their 30-day trial to like down, because it is a very unusual experience. Because if you're used to sitting in a chair that you're sort of free and you can move around and kind of do whatever, this feels like they're going to get you in like a racing seat or something. Like I feel like you're getting into that scenario where you're like,
it's like
in like a
way more
Formula
supportive,
One car, right? Where you're they're going to like fit the Formula One seats. I think are like poured to the people. Like each one's different.
Yeah, they are. I think so. Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like when you sit on it. You're just like locked into the chair. It's like you're sitting up, your posture's good, and like everything's kind of like holding you in place and whatever, which is a very unusual experience. I do think you'd want to give that some time. And
they were explaining to us that the little, if you can like mouse over it, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it on camera, but they don't do lumbar support, because when they were like demoing it to us, they said like lumbar doesn't really, their opinion is lumbar doesn't really do anything. So they have where like the bottom bar instead of lumbar, it's like pelvis support. So like lines up with like your pelvis bones, whatever it is.
You can kind of see it there as they sort of try to get
the concept being that like your whole posture stems from your like hip area, not your lumbar. So like if you get that in the right position, it helps correct the rest of your posture, which kind of goes in with what Chris was saying, how it makes you feel like it's not just like this free open chair that you kind of just swim around in, like you kind of like locked it, like it kind of like puts you right in the place it wants to put you in, which is cool. But like, it feels different because you don't really move around as much, or you don't have the ability to move around as much. Yeah. Which I can see, because if you're trying to correct posture,
it's very different.
You need to be.
Speaking of Gary V, there he is right there.
Oh, there he is. There.
Hey, Gary V. So yeah, it's different. It's starting at $1,800. Once you spec them up and do a whole bunch of cool things, I think they top out at $2,500 right now. I know they're big pushes to try to get them down into that more affordable range, but I still think you're probably low end is $1,000 is probably their goal, right? To like kind of get to that number, which I still think is a lot of money for a chair, right? Like it's still, so I still think you're gonna have to answer the why question. Yeah. Something I thought of right away that I've noticed is I kind of want to brand it. Like if you have the CCA logo, if you're like this shirt is not nice, but if it was, there would be a brand on it. There'd be something, right? Like that sort of like gets me into the ecosystem. I think it'd be cool, like because the back of the chair is the sort of the A of their. I'm guessing that's their idea, right? Is the back of this frame is kind of like an Anthros logo, right? It kind of looks like this.
Possibly,
right?
Kind of, yeah.
But I think it'd be cool if it was stitched in there or something, so that
that'd be cool.
It's just sitting in your office. It's like, oh, I know what that is. Especially if you get brand recognition. It's kind of like the Nike Swish, right? It eventually becomes a thing, right? And so I thought that would be kind of nice.
Because right now the only logo is on the like.
Yeah, it's way down here.
It's on like the.
Can you even see the mouse on the camera on the TV? I don't know. I'll do the Mac thing where it gets big. It's right there.
It's like right there. So it's like right where like the like little arm, or not arm, the spine of the chair comes up, and where it goes to like the backrest and everything, the logo's stamped there.
So I think we'll have more feedback as we proceed here, but that guy's not doing good. There you go.
That's how I sit, unfortunately.
I think this is really, really over exaggerated. I think
it might not be.
It looks painful to sit like that.
Well, sometimes it is. Just to go in on my feelings, sometimes I have bad enough posture that my back hurts a little. Yeah. And it's my fault. So maybe who is this for then?
I don't know, because that's the thing. When you look at some of the pictures, I broke something. When you look at some of the pictures, the chairs that they're comparing it to look like if you sat in them the way you were supposed to, would do the same thing.
Sure.
If you look at how the chairs are built, the like lumbar or spinal support or whatever is usually out a little further than where your back is to kind of get your butt out and your back sitting back. I think the fact that we slouch in our chair is our own decision, right? Like it doesn't.
Right.
The chair isn't making you necessarily be like have bad posture.
But can you slouch in this one?
Sure. Yeah.
It's harder to.
The reason it's harder to is the actual chair where you can sit is really short.
In what dimension?
Like
front to back?
Length, front
okay.
to back.
Yeah.
So I think normally a chair, like I have fairly long like legs. And so I feel like I'm a little bit taller than you, but I feel like on these even like I feel like I'm like inches shorter than you. So I think all my height
standing
is like
you're taller.
legs.
Yeah, standing you're taller than me.
So the chair is very short. My legs stick out like 6 inches or something crazy. Where like on a normal chair it might be a couple of them.
Sure. Oh, I do remember what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
And so I think because of that, it forces you to sit all the way back. And then at that point, then they can kind of like lock you in. This is all speculation. Then at that point, they can lock you into where the supports are and stuff.
Sure. Yeah,
So
that
then
makes sense.
I could slouch, but then it gets really hard because then the like, 4 or 5 inches of my feet, the back of my legs are sticking out, turns to 7, right? Because you're slouching now. I'm like, where I'm actually sitting, there's only like 3 inches of cushion. So I'm like, if you sit down and slouch, you're like right on the end.
Right. Oh,
feeling like you're going to fall off.
Sure. That makes sense.
So I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it works. Because I don't want to fall off my chair. That would be weird.
That'd be awkward.
Yeah. Love at first sit from Gary V. I heard Gary V ordered a lot of them too. So
yeah, how much was it?
Good on
like
you,
a
Gary
lot,
V.
a lot.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if is that like intellectual property? No, I don't know. It was a lot, but he's also worth a lot more money than I am. So I don't feel bad.
That was subtle.
He's gonna buy the Jets, right? That's his thing.
Is that his thing? I don't really know much about him, honestly.
Yeah, well, being into the wine thing, his dad started Wine Library in New York, and so he came up and he was one of the big sort of like tech guys that started doing vlogging and video stuff, and like probably I don't even know 10 years ago, but that's how he got his dad's business on the map. It was kind of like a tiny little wine place, and he was doing like daily videos about wine, like, hey, here's this wine, I think it's really good and whatever, and he got really good at. I think he's just like a serial entrepreneur. I think he does like wine. I think he's one of those people that just like likes anything enough that you just get really into that thing, right?
Sure.
So like he was like, okay, I just got to get really good at like tasting wine and knowing about wine so that I can help sell it better. And so that's what he did, and they kind of went on the map. He's now in marketing and sales. He's probably more of a motivational speaker now than anything, but
what does that say? The what audio experience in the top right? Garv.
Where is that?
How do you say his last name? Oh,
Gary Vaynerchuk, yeah.
I thought those were 2 words. I feel
Gary
embarrassed.
V.
Cut that out.
Yeah.
Don't put that.
Can't do that.
I know.
It's a podcast.
Well, you could, but you just don't.
I just won't.
That's fine. That's
I can.
understandable.
I might not, though.
No, that's the terms going into it. That's what I signed up for.
Yeah. Terms of endearment.
But yeah, so it's a neat idea.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. When they were like, hey, we'll drop off a demo for you, I was like, that sounds fun. Like, that sounds interesting. We'll try it out. So, well,
how much do you think the average person or company spends on chairs, or like per unit?
350, 300, and that would be high actually. That's like a kind of a nice chair. I think a lot of people buy. I don't know, because it's really expensive to run a business. So I feel like a lot of small businesses are ending up getting those one-offs. The hey, Johnson Controls just closed an office. Like, we have 100 chairs and they're 30% of their original price. And
right.
But I think a lot of times people do that. Yeah, you're spending sub $300 on a chair probably most of the time.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
We have our demo for a bit more. So if there's some radical new thing that we discover, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's just the people that have really, really bad back pain, right? Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's the outcome. I don't know. We might shoot a full review on it if we've. That
could be kind of cool, actually. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Make it a main channel video sort of thing. I call main channel because we have one channel.
Which isn't even our main.
Everything goes in the main channel.
Everything does go in the main channel.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. So it's kind of a fun little experiment for us to do. We've got a gaming event here coming up shortly anyway, so that was kind of a fun thing too. We'll pull that out. I thought about, like, I wonder if we should let every time someone wins an event, they get to trap the chair. So, like, have some sort of a cool thing. It's like, I thought about this last night, so I haven't run this by the team yet. It might be ridiculous, but yeah, here's your prize. You get to sit in a really,
how long do we get the chair for?
Really expensive chair. Indeterminate. It's expensive. I imagine at some point they'll be like,
can we have her
hey,
back?
how's it been going? Yeah, full disclosure, we did scratch it into some drywall. So if you're watching this, Anthros, we're sorry.
I did not do that.
Might have been me.
Okay. Full disclosure.
Like not
I did
intentionally,
not do
just
that.
like, like.
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Walls are close to desks sometimes. So
that is true.
Here's your chair back and $100 for the new plastic back that you're going to have to. You probably could just like give it the one little like, I don't know.
Oh, you could have, but now you just publicly said.
I did, yeah. They'll watch it like a year from now. I knew that they'd done something. It was already a return chair. I don't know that it was ever going to be. It probably would just be a demo at this point because the chair they gave us was like someone bought it and they returned it. I imagine you can never sell it. You can never sell it again. Anyways, right. It's probably not going back in a box. So I don't feel too bad. I'm sure it's going to be their like demo, like give it to businesses, check it out, see how you like it. So
I'm sure it'll be fine. They were cool.
Yeah.
But cool. Maybe we'll do a review on it. We'll see. It could be cool.
Fun.
Cool. Anything else for us to talk about? Or was that the last topic?
I think that was it. Those are all three.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us again. We'll see you guys again. We'll have newsletter coming out, and then next podcast. Do we have anything to share about the next podcast?
I don't. No? I think it's kind of. I like the idea of having sort of more current things. A lot of times we do things like this in our newsletter, but it's like, hey, Dropbox sign had a breach. But it like if our newsletter goes out much less frequently, we don't necessarily. We can't get those out as quickly, so I think these are kind of cool to be like, hey, what are the current news things that you guys need to know about? Kind of a cool idea. So
we'll be back in maybe a new location.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or a different chair. Maybe we'll be on the floor.
I kind of like
this.
Know. This could be good.
I do like this one actually.
The downside is setting it up. It's a lot of work to take everything that's normally in here out and put this in here. But
I didn't do any.
We love our people enough, right? So.
I'm sure you could do it.
I'm sure we can.
I can help.
Spend the 5 minutes to put it.
Well, now we got to take it down because this is our conference room, so we have to have meetings in here.
We just got to schedule these on Monday or something so that we have a whole week to undo the.
And then wait till Thursday.
Yeah.
Wait till the same day. Wait till Friday morning.
Yep.
Means at 10. Take it down at 9:45.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys again soon for newsletter and podcast and for some other stuff like maybe a chair review.
Review. Yeah.
Cool. Other than that, we will thank you guys for watching. My computer turned off, so I guess that means we're done.
Exactly. All right. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.